In the quiet hours, when the world is sleeping and the noise of the day has faded, the mind begins to speak. Welcome to Midnight Thoughts. With Breath by Breath with ALS. These are the reflections that rise in the stillness, when the heart speaks louder than the noise. It's late tonight. The house is quiet. The kind of quiet where the world feels far away. The day is over. The distractions are gone, and the questions we usually avoid begin to surface. This thought came to me in one of those moments. A simple question, but a heavy one. What am I building beyond this life? I find myself asking that question more often now. What am I building beyond this life? Before ALS. I don't know how often I truly stop to ask it. Like most people, my focus was on familiar pursuits. Work, money, security, status. I measured progress by productivity, by paychecks, projects, and plans for the future. I believed that building a good life meant working harder, earning more, and staying busy. Then ALS entered my life, and everything changed. When strength fades, when independence slips away, when the future becomes uncertain, the things we once chased begin to lose their grip. Work no longer defines me. Money no longer promises security. Status no longer matters. ALS has a way of stripping life down to what is real and exposing what was never meant to last. I began to realize that much of what I had spent my life building was temporary. When God is the builder, Scripture speaks directly to this truth. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Those words come from Psalm 127. And they land differently now. For much of my life, I believed I was the builder. That success depended on my effort, my planning, my strength. But that verse reminds us of something humbling. No matter how impressive our work may appear, if God is not the foundation, what we build will not endure. That same passage contrasts restless labor with something deeper. Rest. Not the kind of rest that comes when the work is finished, but the kind of rest that comes from trusting God. Rest that doesn't depend on outcomes. Rest that doesn't require control. ALS has taught me about that kind of rest. There are days when my body can do nothing. Days when all I can do is wait. And in those moments, I am reminded of something important. My value was never rooted in what I could produce. Built for something eternal, Scripture also tells us in Hebrews 3:4, "For every house is built by someone, but God is the builder of all things." That truth reshapes everything. If God is the true builder, then my life was never meant to be about what I could construct on my own. It was always meant to be about what I allow Him to build through me. ALS may have taken my ability to work the way I once did, but it did not take my purpose. What I'm building now looks different. I'm building faith instead of fear, trust instead of control, relationships instead of achievements. I'm building something eternal, even if it cannot be seen. And maybe that is the lesson. We spend so much of our lives building things that will not survive us. Careers end, money fades, titles disappear, but faith carries forward. Love endures. What God builds lasts beyond this life. Quiet invitation. So when I ask myself now, what am I building beyond this life? I no longer think in terms of success. I think in terms of surrender. Am I allowing God to build something meaningful through me? Even here? Even now? Even in weakness? Because in the end, The question is not how strong we were, or how much we accomplished. It is whether we allowed the true builder to do his work in us. Thank you for spending these midnight thoughts with me. If this reflection encouraged you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to Breath by Breath with ALS. It helps these reflections reach someone who may need hope in their own quiet moments. Until next time, God bless.